So, I received this letter from a teacher who found this podcast and said, "You, with your loud mouth and zero fear, you're the one to deliver this message on behalf of all of us who are tired, broke, and surviving on chalk dust. Please send this letter to all Ugandan parents." And honestly, I felt a pain deep down in my soul because teachers in Uganda have suffered. Their bosses pay them in polite thank yous. The director of studies will come and dump 30 plus syllabuses on them. And then to make things worse, the government treats science teachers like the last bonds and then the art teachers like the neighbor's kid. Right now, they are even renaming their subjects. For example, music is now called melodic engineering. Fine art is now called color chemistry. Literature is called advanced word engineering. Kwegamba. They decided to change those names and fool the government into thinking that these art subjects were also sciences. Antimunange. Sciences is where the money is, and the bag has to be chased either way. And on top of all of that, their breakfast is one samosa and colored water. Can you imagine? And now the students have now become TikTok philosophers. And then, boom, parents entered the group chat. Can you wrap your head around this, Kaboozi, on things that parents do to make the teachers' lives miserable? Dear parents, I greet you in the name of patience, paracetamol, and unpaid allowances. We've wanted to say these things for the longest time, but PTA meetings are so short, and then your tempers are even shorter. Please receive this message with the same love with which you drop off your children and then zoom off so fast, like as if your array is on your bumpers. And if this message scratches you a certain way and you feel like looking for me with Chiroko, please know I'm just a messenger. Don't shoot me. However, you can put your angry comments in the comment section so that the person or the teacher that wrote this letter can see it. So, here's the letter. But before I read it, let me say something small about my sponsor because they make this podcast possible. If you are looking to start a podcast or a documentary about a school or anything, just click on the link in the description. And if you are a movie producer and you're looking for a location to shoot your film, which is set in a school or any other place, Dilstories Film Studio will do any set that you want, whether it's a classroom, hospital, a jail cell, a restaurant, anything, and they do it at very affordable prices. So, this is the letter and it reads, "Dear parents, there are 9 things that us teachers we should stop doing so that our lives can be better and so that your children can also pass exams. Number 1, stop assuming your children are angels. Just because they say good morning every morning doesn't mean that they're not leading a mini cult in P6. Yes, we know little Brian prays before food, but at school, he's the one leading a strike against boiled beans. Yes, he's telling his friends not to go to class because apparently they were given very little food. He is a self-appointed revolutionary. And when you say these things, some of you say, Vanage, that doesn't sound like Brian. Brian doesn't even talk. Of course he doesn't talk. All you do is plant a very huge screen in front of him and then disappear to do whatever business that you want. No wonder he has so many words. No wonder he can't keep quiet because you don't let him express himself at home. So he comes overflowing with verbal diarrhea and it stinks for the rest of the learners. Number 2, please spend some time with your children. I mean, it is a normal thing to do. You cannot be a good parent if you don't spend time with your children. Teach them skills. Teach them how to knot a tie, how to boil water, how to tie shoelaces, how to brush their teeth properly. Yes, we can't teach everything. For us, we are only paid to teach them photosynthesis and fiscal policy. Life skills are on you. Never some of you just fear your kids. Because you don't even discipline them. All you say is, I report you to Teacher Grace. Report as who? To who? Excuse me, I also have my own children. I don't want to add yours to my migugu, okay? Don't let your children talk to you whatever way they want. You don't discipline them. You never show them what's up. They don't know consequences. Number 3, stop lying that your child is allergic to dust so that they can avoid sweeping the class. In this Uganda of ours, nobody is allergic to dust. Otherwise, some of us who stay in Nigeria would be dead. already. And you know the tricks that you use. You get an uncle or an aunt or a niece or a nephew or a cousin who is a doctor, and you tell them to lie, but Jaden is allergic to dust, so they shouldn't sweep the class. Please, they're kids with proper respiratory issues, and they are lying. Some kids have asthma. Some kids have COVID Pro Max. There is a child who inherited cough from their great-grandfather, and you're here lying. Have you ever heard of exposure therapy? It works bulungi. You should try it. Actually, tell your kids to sweep the class so that their respiratory systems can adapt. Mango, mango. You be there lying, but you see, for us, we used to sweep the class. Yeah? We can never get flu even if we stay in a dusty place like Ulindo. Ulimaje. Number 4. Stop giving your kids pocket money like you're launching a business. Please, we are begging. Stop it. We know you're very rich, but temuchi susa. We respect your hustle, but there is being comfortable and then there is overdoing it. For example, how can you give a child in senior 1 5 million upkeep? Why? Are they going to buy the whole school canteen? Not even our RDCs earn that much, at least not officially. And you'll be saying, but, you see, I want them to be comfortable. Before you know it, your child will turn into a Shylock, issuing loans and seizing mattresses as collateral. And after 3 days, when the money is done, because, kids and self-control are not friends, you'll start calling us in the middle of a lesson, but please, teacher, help me monitor child spending. Monitor it as who? Ama URA. Please, be serious. Give your kids reasonable money. Let them learn to budget. School is for learning, not a business rehearsal. Number 5. Stop telling your children that teachers are broke. But if you don't study hard, you're going to end up like John. First of all, respect us. Secondly, respect us. I know we are not cruising in Range Rovers and owning apartments in Nigeria, but must you rub it in like that? We know we are poor, but temuchi susa nyoate. You said these things in your homes, and then you send your very proud children to school for us to suffer with. And now they're walking around, feeling like small gods and breathing air like the school belongs to their clan. We can't even advise them to revise their books because, they'll say, why? My father owns a hardware. They're now ungovernable. They think they don't need manners because daddy has money. They look at us like rubbish. They don't greet. They don't say thank you. Actually, some of them even offer bribes. Yes. A kid will come and tell you, teacher, if you give me 10 extra marks, I'll give you 500K. What? Kids tempting us in this economy. Yeah. I swear your kids are interning for Saturn. And they're so lucky that we're professional. Otherwise, we'd chew that money and then we'll see if UNEB will also accept those brown envelopes. You guys are just like we are good people. Number 6. Stop expecting us to perform miracles. Your child barely attends class. You're always taking them out of school. Boom. They're going for a cousin's introduction, auntie's kuchala, Jaja's birthday. Sometimes you even pick them up because they are tired. Tired of what? Holding a pen. At home, they're always on TikTok up to 3 a.m. But you somehow magically expect us to squeeze a 90% out of them. You've never seen Dan open a book to read. But you're very shocked when he comes back and he's second last in class. And then you'll come to school with their chest up high. But what are you doing to help our children? We are doing the same thing that we do for the rest of the learners. We teach. After that is between them, you and God. We are not magicians, munanga. Number 7. Stop thinking that the syllabus is the teacher's personal invention. Stop reporting us to the head teachers who we are trying to make your children fail by giving them hard things. Bumanya, those teachers are making our children fail on purpose. Sijui, Samantha's teachers hate her. That's why she gets 20% in math. First of all, we only teach what the National Curriculum Development Center approves. You ask Samantha what she did to math. Maybe they fought over Mandazi. I don't know. They have their own beef. But also, a student that doesn't understand math is, how do I say it? Because, we're not supposed to call them stupid, even if they are. We can only say they are academically weak or less capable. So, if your child belongs to this category, there are various options from which you can choose actually a whole cocktail of them. Number 1, pay for coaching so that we can individually help your child. Number 2, change the school, take them to another school, maybe The National Curriculum Development Center offers different syllabuses to different schools. Number 3, homeschool your children if you're as bright as you think you are. Number 4, write a letter to the Ministry of Curriculum Development if you have energy. Hey, you didn't know that was a whole ministry. And you guys called it the National Curriculum Development Center, but that is a whole other ministry, my friend. Number 8, stop thinking that your child will always be number 1 in class. The class has 38 pupils. 38! Not 4, not 2, 38 human beings with a pen and a brain. Obviously, one of them is going to be number 7, another one is going to be number 27. It's life, it's called character development. But you'll come breathing down fire on us just because your child was number 9 with an average of 89. You're there making so much noise. Please, calm down and drink a glass of water. 89 is not a failure. It's actually not the problem. The thing is, your child is in a school with very bright students. First, in this school, there's a lot of competition. Kids dream in algebra, then some other kids solve mathematical equations in their sleep. So if you want your child to be number 1 all the time, maybe take them to a school with average kids. They say the moon shines brightest on the darkest night. But also, sala pressure, wanange. You people treat your kids like they're on some survival reality show. But you better be number 1 or else what? Is she going to turn into a mango? Huh? It's this kind of pressure that is finishing our children. Imagine a kid is in P5 but they're already dreaming about what combination they should do in senior 5. And then, please, be reasonable. Not every child is going to be a doctor, lawyer, or engineer. Some are going to be hawkers, artists, boda riders, senene sellers, TikTok influencers, chefs, cooks, all those people. So if your child wants to be a senene seller in Dubai, encourage them. People also eat senene in Dubai, by the way. So just love them, support them, encourage them, and please, for once, let number 5 clap for number 1 without making it seem like they are a failure to the clan. And then lastly, number 9, stop calling us at 10 p.m. We have lives out of the school. Good teacher, I wanted to inquire about the trip that is happening tomorrow. Please, sir, it is 10 p.m. We have lives out of the school. Kat, you want my husband to break my phone, but who am I talking to? Teachers are not owls. We gave you a circular, a very clear one, that you refused to read. And now that you saw the word trip, you're panicking. You're asking me, teacher, should I send them with slippers? No, they're going to the museum, not to the beach. Please read the circular. Please stop stressing us because we have our own stresses of life. Can you wrap your head around this, Kaboozi? If you are a teacher and you have something hot to say to parents, please drop it in the comment section. And if you are a parent that wants to shoot back, the comment section is where your answer goes. Otherwise, share, comment, subscribe, and let this message reach every parent so that they can change their ways. Until next week, bye-bye.